Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss things that are remakes that are maybe better but maybe not, it's Stefan.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, night. How we doing?
Yes, all good here, brother. This is an interesting one because, again, like last week, and I said to you, we created this kind of, oh yeah, that'd be a good show, like a year ago, this list of show ideas.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm kind of like, what did we have in mind? Like what? Because we must have had a thing in mind at the time. But when I sat down with it, I actually found quite a lot. But I got a feeling it's going to be a fight.
On this. I admit, I did struggle with this one.
Well, I'm going to go through these and hopefully make you laugh with some and start a bit of a debate. But I'm going to kick off with a TV show, right? And I don't think you watch it. You might watch it. I'm not sure. But there is a series of books based on a character, Jack Reacher. And there were 2 Hollywood films starring Tom Cruise telling the story of Reacher. Luckily, a production company looked at that and went, oh good God, how awful. And did a deal with Amazon to create a TV series instead with someone who actually looks like the character and telling the story as it is properly from the books.
Yep.
I would say without a shadow of a doubt, that's a remake that's better, if that makes sense.
I know for a fact that my father-in-law will agree with you.
Yeah, like it's... The films, don't get me wrong, they're not bad films if you haven't read the books. Like, if you've not read the books at all, you can watch those 2 films and enjoy it. Because Tom Cruise is a good actor. He does what he does. He's good at it. But when you've read the books and you've got this real clear idea of who this person is, when you see Tom Cruise playing him, you're immediately going, no.
What the?
No. And when you watch the TV show now, having watched the films, and you see if you stood Alan Richardson next to Tom Cruise... One, I think Cruise would need to stand on a box to come up to his hips. But yeah. 2, it's like that's what the character is, and so that's why I look at that and I go, yeah, that's a remake, and it's an ongoing thing. But I couldn't make my mind up if I class that as a remake. So they've not remade the films, but it is kind of like a look at that. No, that's not good, and that kind of brought me to the There's a new Harry Potter series coming. They're not remaking the films. It's not a new series of films, but it is a TV show retelling the same stories. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've kind of branded that in there on the same thing. Obviously, none of us have a clue if that's going to be better or worse yet. We'll have to wait and see. The one I think I'm going to get an absolute kick in for as a film, I prefer the remake, is Dune.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, I loved the book, and I really enjoyed the original film of Dune. The ones that followed I thought were utter shite. And the TV show was garbage. But the film was okay, but I was a lot younger. And when I rewatched it recently, because I saw it on, I was like, oh, that's the original Dune, I'll watch that. It was so bad. Like, so clunky, and they really didn't adapt anything. It was like, oh, this isn't actually very good. Whereas they've done a trilogy that obviously they've not completed it yet. But the first 2 are very, very good, epic scale films. That I think are a definite improvement on the original. So for me, absolutely a remake that's better.
I haven't seen any of the Dune movies, so I will purely take your word for that.
Is it? I mean, is that something that's just completely not interested, like not read it, don't know anything about it. So
Pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't something I've ever read.
Yeah.
The movies came out, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was just like, they are like epically long movies.
they are big films. Yeah, they're like, think Lord of the Rings, but very sci-fi.
Yeah, and I remember my father-in-law watched it on a flight to America. It was on the plane.
Yeah.
And he said his thing was, I've just watched an entire movie waiting for a movie to start. And that was kind of the bit that I was like, oh yeah, that's a long movie waiting for action to start if it doesn't actually start.
Yes and no. Like I kind of understand where that's coming from in the point of view of it is clearly the first part of a trilogy,
Yeah.
but there's a lot in that film. Like there is a lot that happens in that film, with a lot of action, a lot of, it's a friggin' war at one point. So yeah, I kind of agree and disagree. Like I understand the point of view, but I disagree that not a lot happens, if that makes sense. The next one from me, which and this sort of opens a debate of whether it's a generational thing, because it's a remake that I don't like at all, but my daughter likes it. So there's 3 versions of this film, because it's been remade twice,
Oh, okay.
and that's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
So there's the original of this film, which is his name's just gone completely out of my mind now. And it's not returning, so apologies.
Wait there, I'm going to search it. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I do not want the new one. I want the old one.
Well, I think it was an 80s film.
It was. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971.
Gene Wilder.
There it is. Yep, Gene Wilder.
I got there. So the Gene Wilder version, for me, is brilliant.
By far the better version. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, we're on the same.
The newer version with Johnny Depp in it.
Oh, but there's another one since then.
There is, yeah.
Right, so the Johnny Depp version, the family of Roald Dahl say is by far better and is more like the books, and it's the version they like. Right?
Sorry, what version do they like better?
Johnny Depp's version. They think that to them, that's the version that
Yeah,
works
because
for them.
they say it was like a horror movie, really.
Just kooky and friggin' weird.
Yeah.
Now, I don't dislike it, but for me, that first version is mine. Now, I don't know if that's a generational thing, because my daughter, who has watched that original one with me, prefers the Johnny Depp version. That is her version of that film. She will not hear a bad word said about it.
Yeah.
The latest one, which I think is Timothée Chalamet,
That's the one. That's the name I'm
we
looking for.
both agree is utter shite.
Is
but
that the one
again-
that's got Hugh Grant in it?
Yeah, I think so. But
Is it
like,
literally, it's just called Wonka or something, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, but it's just, I don't know if it's a generational thing, and it does kind of bring that into that debate of like, is a remake better? Does nostalgia play a massive part in that? Because like there's certain things that like being remade, and I'm like, no, that's not better. The original is the best. So yeah, so that I think has to play a part. But yeah, for me, the original, those 3 versions of that original one with Gene Wilder.
I fully agree.
Good. High fives over that. Another film that I watched as a kid. So when I was younger, on a Sunday pretty much, one of my memories is I'd be in the living room, and I was little, playing with toys or whatever, and my dad would have whatever films were on. And they'd typically be old war films, westerns. And one of the westerns I always remember was The Magnificent Seven.
I've heard of that, yeah.
It had this kind of like iconic music to it. Like, so anytime it was on, I'd recognise it. Like, oh, it's the Magnificent Seven again, because I'd recognise it. A bit like when the War from the Great Escape was on. Like I'd recognize, you know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, I know that. I know this. I know this one.
Music, yeah.
And that's how much those films were on repeat, pretty much. By the way, back in the day when you only had 4 channels. Yes, I'm that old.
The Magnificent Seven. Do you mean the Steve McQueen 1960s version?
It would have been the older version when I was a kid, yeah, because I mean, this is 86, 87. I'd have been little when this was on. So I have an affection for those old films, like all the John Wayne westerns, war films. I have an affection for them because of the memories of that as a kid. Like, it was quite nice, relaxed kind of memories, and they're not exactly very big thought-provoking films, you know. You know, shoot those Indians. Now, the Magnificent Seven got remade, and when Denzel Washington, I think.
It is Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
Vincent
the cast is brilliant.
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, and the guy who plays Kingpin.
That's it. Yeah, Vincent. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sort of, I don't know if I watch this. Is it going to kind of like? Am I just going to have that nostalgia thing where it's like, oh, this isn't any good? I'm delighted to say it's a great film. It doesn't shit on anything, and it kind of, it is really great. It's really, really great. I still remember the original one fondly, and this new one's great. So for me, that is a remake because it's up to date. Like, so the visual effects work. You know, the dialogue works better.
It's still an old western, but they've kind of updated where it needs to be updated. You got it.
Yeah, it's smarter. It actually depicts natives, native Indians as what they were, and not the stereotypes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was good. It is very good. I enjoyed it. Now the one I think again could be controversial, and I know me and my daughter would go round on this, and it's ironic because she likes the original version, and I actually prefer the remake, the newer version, although it's argued it's a sequel, and that's Jumanji.
Nope.
See, I knew this one would get you.
The original is far supreme.
See, let me explain my reason, please. And
please
then
tell me why you're
comment.
wrong. Yes.
I will explain my reason. So when I watched Jumanji in the cinema when it first came out, I loved it. Like Robin Williams can do very little wrong. It is still
a little rain never hurt anyone. No, a lot can kill you.
It's still a great film. Brilliant concept. Great film.
I quote that film constantly.
Right, so here is the issue I have. Right, when my daughter was old enough that I could put more older films on for her, like live action films, not always animated.
Oh yeah.
I obviously had a list of films I loved from the 80s, the 90s, and Jumanji's right up there. This is a film. Now, what I found when I rewatched a lot of these films is, one, there's some dialogue in them that I didn't pick up on as a kid, that as an adult I'm like, holy shit. My child sat there, oh my God. Maybe I'm just more sensitive to it, I don't know. But yeah, I just like, oh my God, I didn't think of that. Oh, please don't.
Oh, wow.
Please don't turn around and ask me what a virgin is or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like dialogue that is just throwaway, but then suddenly when you're watching it with your 5-6-year-old, you panic.
Yeah.
The next thing is, so many of these films, the visual effects and stuff like that are so bad that when you watch them again as an adult, you're just, this is shite. And I'm talking about so many films I loved as a kid. And I'm like, this really isn't good. It's really ropey and really crappy.
Yeah, things like that. It always reminds me, so slightly off topic, but I always used to remember growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Every year a new FIFA game came out.
Yeah.
And every year they'd updated the graphics, and you'd be like, oh my god, that looks exactly like Wayne Rooney, or that looks exactly like this player or that player.
And if you look now,
I go back now and I'm like, I had a bit of a nostalgia thing go through, and I was like, oh my god, I found FIFA 2014 or something it was.
Yeah.
Now I remember 2014 being like, or one of those ones around that time, being like the best soundtrack. They brought in new ways of doing free kicks. They'd done this, done that. And I remember the graphics were like, oh my god, the graphics look exactly like the players. And I go back and look now, and it's like playing Minecraft. It was like, everything is just this square, blocky, and I'm like, I'm not even sure if the football itself is round.
No, it's funny.
And I'm like, but back then, it was like absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's funny. It is funny how much these things have improved and how it's happened gradually over time. So it's only when you look back you realise how bad this is. Now, this is it with Jumanji. I love the film, but when I watched it back with my daughter, she was just like, they're cartoons. All of the animals are cartoony. And she was just not into it. And when she was pointing that out to me, I'm like, yeah, I know. And it kind of, it didn't ruin the film for me. Like, I still have wonderful, like, watching that film in the cinema when I was younger was brilliant. Like, the cinematic noise of the stampede. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember that. It was great moments. So I'm always going to like that film. But when they did the kind of reimagining of it, if you like, where it's a video game and they're playing avatars and
I've got to say, it was done incredibly well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I then watched that with her, and it's like, oh, it's Jumanji, and she's like looking at me like, I'm like, no, it's a new one. Like, The Rock's in it. All right, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And then we watched it, and she loved it, man. Like, she absolutely, like, sort of thinks it's brilliant. So yeah, it's difficult. Like, but there's a nostalgia thing for me on the original. But when you watch it now,
I am literally on IMDb going through the pictures of the movie, and you do. Even in the pictures, you look at it and you go,
it's cartoon,
oh, dear.
And like, don't get me wrong, you can kind of, like, at the time it wasn't. Like, at the time, like you said a minute ago, those monkeys are damn real. Like, how did they train the monkeys to do that? Yeah, they're not real, dude. They're like, none of that. Oh, how did they get that rhino to do that? No, none of it's there. None of it.
None of it. Like, it does look bad. Now go through these pictures,
And so that, but it's like, if you've watched that film and you love it, don't watch it again. Is my message. It's like, don't go back to it, because keep the memory of it being brilliant in your mind. Because bloody kids, they ruin it, man. Like, monkey's fake. Oh, what's the point? Oh.
Yeah.
Great.
Doesn't even look like a real elephant. Fuck you, kid.
So, speaking of my daughter, though, I mentioned to her a few of these topics that we had coming up. And she, on this one, insisted I say the remake is better of The Parent Trap. Low-hand-tastic is the only good version.
Oh, see, now, The Parent Trap, yeah?
Yes.
I did have this thought, okay?
Careful.
Because The Parent Trap, now, there are so many freaking versions of it.
There are.
That it's difficult to say, like, which one is the remake, which one do you mean? Like, there are so many of them.
Well, what's interesting is there's The Parent Trap, there's the remake of The Parent Trap, but there's also films that are basically The Parent Trap, but just
so
called different things.
Yeah.
Like, just, it's literally the same thing, but done differently. And I'm not going to argue with her on this. If she tells me Low-hand-tastic is the only good version, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
I've got rules in my life, and arguing with my daughters against one of them. Like,
yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, mint sauce goes with everything. Britney Spears is always right, and don't argue with my daughter. 3 rules I live by.
Fair play.
So I've got 2 TV shows for you. One kind of funny that I say the remake's better, and it's going to cause me some problems over the pond.
Okay.
And another one which I don't think you've ever seen either of them, but you might be aware of them, and it's going to make you laugh.
Go on.
So the first one is the remake is better of the TV show Hawaii Five-0.
Okay.
Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Now, you've probably never seen an episode of the original,
I can't say I have, no.
and you've probably never seen an episode of the remake.
I'm going to agree with you.
But did you recognise the tune when I started singing it?
Instantly.
Isn't that funny? That is literally, that is all that is. That's the Hawaii Five-0 theme tune. You can actually picture people surfing to it. It's amazing. Anyway, the Hawaii Five-0 remake is a really good procedural cop robbers show, but they made it as part of the NCIS verse, which I didn't realise until I got into it. Which meant all of a sudden it started doing crossovers with NCIS LA and NCIS this, and that NCIS verse has been going for like 30 damn years and not stopping, by the way. And so I got quite into it, like, oh, this is fun. And then there's whole episodes where I'm lost. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Should I know who that is? Like, do you remember like the old fashioned kind of sitcom-y things when they'd have a guest star and the audience would be like, oh, Ray, when they walked on stage?
Yeah.
And you as like a kid would be like, they're clearly someone famous. I don't know
They
who
must
they
be
are.
really cool.
But they
isn't
must be cool because the crowd's into it. It's like, these are episodes, but there's no audience noise. So I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't know if this is important. But it did get to that place, which me and you have talked about a little bit, which is funny, which is you'd get the guest stars you'd recognise. Like, these are jobbing actors you've seen pop up in TV shows.
Yeah.
And so every week you'd see them and you'd be like, well, they did it. Like, they're the actor I recognise, they did it.
Yeah,
It's
this
like,
guy is really famous. He's not been on it before.
yeah, I know.
Clearly he's the bad guy.
That's the murderer. That's done. Next. So I didn't started, didn't finish was the last week thing. I never watched I did watch the finale of Hawaii Five-0, but I completely zoned out by the end. I was just like, I don't know who half these people are, and you keep referencing stuff going on in other shows, and I have no idea what any of that is.
Yeah.
Like, this is too much. But yeah, Hawaii Five-0, just visually the remake's better. But again, I think it could be I think my dad liked Hawaii Five-0, and I think he'd fight me on that. So that's another thing. But it's a sci-fi show is the one I'm going to end with, and it's a big one for me, and it's called Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
I did not.
Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know how I missed it, but I did miss it.
Well, this is going to be funny because you'll like this. So, Battlestar Galactica was a TV show, in essence, created to cash in on Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
It was kind of like, people like that? Here we go.
If they like that, imagine what we could do with this. Yeah.
The story, the premise, all of it is actually brilliant. Like, the whole thing behind it is really, really good.
Okay.
Right, so this is ridiculously broad. So if you're a massive Battlestar Galactica fan, your head's about to explode how I explain this, but chill, right?
Yeah.
13 colonies of humans living out there. They have an enemy. It's a robot enemy, like AI. It is relentless. Think Terminators,
Cyborgs,
machines.
yeah.
They're called Cylons.
I was close.
Very close, and I think that was why it was, I think that was... Anyway, there's a big peace summit. There's going to be peace between these Cylons and the humans. Cylons betray them. They murder everybody across these colonies. Conquest. Every ship in the fleet is destroyed except for one. One remaining Battlestar is this big hunking military vessel, and it's called Galactica. And that one big hulking Battlestar is protecting a fleet of crappy ships of just civilians who have escaped. And they're running away from the Cylons, hoping to find the lost colony of humans known as Earth. Good premise, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a basic premise, good stuff. And it was a weekly show, light-hearted, bit of space battle, bit of stuff. But the thing that's funny about the original, and it used to be on BBC Two on an afternoon, finished school, one of the days, Battlestar Galactica, The Simpsons, back to back, wonderful stuff. And the thing that used to make me laugh about this show was at some point, as I got older, I realised they clearly didn't have much of a budget for space battles. So what they did is they shot something once and then used it every single time.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, oh, we're going to blow up a Cylon ship. 3 shots, left, boom. We're going to do this? All right, well, this time just flip the shot. Okay, do it upside down this time. Okay, this time do it, 360 in space. They could be fighting all. It was identical. It was the exact same shot every single time. It didn't kill the show from it, but it was funny. It was just
you
like,
kind of end
so
up
funny.
noticing it.
It was like when you realised in the A-Team, the original A-Team series, every week a car flipped in the air. It was like once you realise it, you can't unsee it.
Right,
like every week a car is going in the air.
There it is.
Yeah. There it is. And every week they're going to get locked in somewhere and they're going to build a goddamn nuclear device out of a paperclip. It's like every week. It's just what it is, what the show is. Embrace it, it's fun. So Battlestar Galactica, for me, was this fun show, nostalgic. It was around the same time as Buck Rogers and stuff like that. And it very much of its time. Like, you watch it through a lens now, you just cringe, right?
Yeah.
But they remade it, and I avoided the remake. I had this complete and utter, I am not watching this, it's going to ruin the fun show I watched as a kid. Everyone I knew was like, oh, you watching Battlestar Galactica? It's so good, they've got renewed for another season. I'm like, nope. Oh, they've made a prequel film now, you watched it? Nope. It's like, I am not doing this. I fought hammer and nail. And then one day, I was home. I think I had flu, literally on the sofa, tissues kind of sprawling around. I'm flicking through, trying to find something. And literally on BBC Two was the new series of Battlestar Galactica, like the first episode of this new thing. And I was like, well, that's kind of funny. When I was a kid, I'd watch the old version on BBC Two.
Yeah.
This is episode 1, the pilot. All right, screw it, I'll give it a go. Now, I watched the pilot episode, and I then found the series on Amazon Prime and binge watched it in like 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was brilliant. It was so smart, and it was so well done. And it made you, like when you watch something, me and you used to talk about it with the Marvel Netflix shows. The punches, it felt like you could smell the blood. You felt like you were in it. The way that pilot grabbed me into this moment of, so again, basic premise: the Cylons are machines, robots, right? So they don't sleep, they don't eat, they don't stop. They are hunting them. And their form of space travel is in jumps, and you have to jump from one point to the next.
Okay.
Then obviously, you have to recharge, etc. Then you jump again, right?
Yeah.
So the Battlestar Galactica is guarding this fleet of shitty ships, like of civilians fleeing.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember how long it is, like let's say 20 minutes, every 21 minutes, the Cylons find them. So when they land, they literally were hitting a clock. The fighter pilots were landing, refueling, taking like drugs to keep them awake because there was no stop. There's no stopping. And if they don't fight, this entire armada of civilians would be murdered. And there's just them. And they've been doing it for days. And so straight away, you can see every member of crew's uniforms. Yeah, they're exhausted. Their uniforms like sweat. Like, it feels visceral. Like, you can see they're struggling, like, and they got to keep hitting each other. Like, come on, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
And eventually they come up with this plan to kind of like, but anyway, no spoilers. But like, just that's the opening. That's the pilot. You're like, holy shit! Like, that is straight in of like, you immediately understand the stakes. You immediately understand what is going on. These people are going to die if they don't keep going. but they are at breaking point. Like instantly, they are all at breaking point, and you can see it. So it grabbed me, and like I said, for me, that's why I put it down as a remake. Does this better? But I do still have that fondness for the original, just nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
But mate, that's my whole list. That's everything I've got. Now I know this was one where you didn't really have a list, but while I've been talking and stuff, did anything pop to mind?
So no, I had a couple on my list.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
So the first one for me is The Mummy.
Oh, you like the remake?
No, well, the original Mummy was like a 1950 movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Brendan Fraser's version was a remake based on. It was like the 1930s or 1950s. It was like a really old movie.
Oh, see, I thought that was an original. I didn't know that.
No,
okay.
they took the idea of it, and Brendan Fraser, which I think those three movies are incredible.
I think the third one's shite, but yes, okay.
We mixed them all into one good concept because yes, the third one with The Rock, the Scorpion King was. Yeah,
No, that's the second one.
That's the second one. That is where. So the Scorpion King, you watch that and you go, ugh, you can get away with it. The third one is Jet Li, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
when you kind of go.
Is the actress who played his wife didn't want to be in it, so they recast her.
That's it. Hopefully no one will notice.
Yeah. So they're actually ignoring it and remaking a third film.
Yeah, they are remaking it. I'm well excited. The Mummy 3.
And they are ignoring the third. It is a third.
It's called The Mummy 3. Yeah.
Yeah. They are literally just like, yeah, that happened. Maybe. We're just gonna pretend it didn't.
We'll pretend that did happen. But I love those movies. Whereas then you have the Tom Cruise version that came out.
Interestingly, they tried to go horror, didn't they?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It was an okay movie, but I don't think it was anything special.
Do you think that it could have been one of those that if it wasn't called The Mummy, like I wouldn't have watched it probably because it wouldn't have been my genre of thing that I watch.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if it wasn't called The Mummy and it was like The Curse of something, same film, if people might have liked it more.
See, now I have another thing. I'm going to go off on a tangent now. I'm going to go probably almost the opposite way to you.
Oh, okay.
About sequels being better. I'm going to tell you reasons they're not. Or remakes being better. Now, exactly the same theory as what you just said about The Mummy.
Yeah.
The latest version of Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Now, I thought the Angelina Jolie versions were absolutely fantastic. Like, they were the nostalgia. I grew up playing the games.
Yeah.
I thought they were brilliant. And then it was, I've just looked it up here, Alicia Vikander.
Yeah.
She then played Lara Croft in Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And they basically tried to redo the whole thing.
It's not a good film.
It's not a good film. Like, it was not a good film.
No.
However, I also wonder if they had named her character something else and not called it Tomb Raider.
See, on that particular example, no. It's not a good film. I know what you're saying, and I do get where you're coming from, but on that example, there's nothing about that that's good. Like, you take away the Lara Croft element of that, you've got an actress you can't pronounce and most people don't know, globally, I'm talking.
Yeah.
And you've got a premise of a film which is... It just wasn't a good premise. It wasn't a good film.
It wasn't great. I remember watching it in the cinema, just walking out going, that was not Tomb Raider. Like, that was not Lara Croft.
It wasn't, but it just wasn't a good film as well. Like, if you take away, like you said, if she's called, Dora the Explorer or whatever, it is not a good film.
But
it just isn't.
I do have so coming away from that one, I do have a film that was better than the originals.
All right, go on.
Baywatch.
Did you ever watch the original series?
I have seen the original series. Like, I haven't watched it religiously or anything like that.
No, nor did I.
But I have seen the original, or some episodes of the original. And then I went to the cinema and watched the Baywatch movie, and I was like, Oh, this is good.
So the
Like,
Baywatch...
I don't want to admit it, but this is good.
The Baywatch movie is fun. Like, it's funny.
Proper funny.
But the main reason why it's funny is because it really takes the piss out of the TV show.
Yes.
Like, why? But we're lifeguards. Why are we just call the police? Like, why are we getting involved? Like, this isn't us. Why are we? Because it's our beach. No, that's bullshit. Just call the damn police. Like, call the police. This is stupid. The police might be in on it. Call the FBI then. Like, we're bloody lifeguards. So yeah, it was funny. The film. I gotta be honest with you, man. No one watched that TV show for the plot.
No.
They watched it for the running. Yeah. Oh, they ran. It was beautiful. it was a time where that was what you got.
Yeah.
For British TV at that time when that show came out. That used to go out on a Saturday early evening, that show. And
yeah.
Pam and Yasmin would run down the beach. I was a young boy learning the ways of the world.
I loved every second of it.
I loved every second of it. That was something quite special and unique from my childhood. Yeah, so, okay. Do you have any more, my friend?
I don't think I do. I've tried looking through it, and I've like the only other one I can think of.
Yeah.
Is the Spider-Man movies.
Ooh, that's controversial.
Now, they keep remaking.
Yeah.
And I personally think each time it has got better.
Now, I'd agree with that, but I wouldn't say the original, like the others are bad.
No, they're all fantastic. Like,
yeah.
So it was one of those things where someone said about like each character, like each one of the actors played the part differently. Now, for me, I think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man.
No. Bad. Awful decision.
Hear me out.
No.
Even like his physique, his movements in the costume, down to like the real kind of quirky quips that he gives in the costume and stuff like that, I was like, that is perfect. Tom Holland, I think, is the best version though. Like the Peter Parker, the Spider-Man, the whole package, I think Tom Holland is the best.
Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland in the suits, somersault competition, end of, game over, I win. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And this is one of those opinion things, and I do also think it's a factor massively in, like, so Tobey Maguire was my Spider-Man, and it was an era of films where it was almost expected that someone in their 20s and early 30s would play a teenager.
Yeah.
And when you, like, so for example, if you watch those films, like, they're not bad films, but it looks stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they are not kids at that school. Everyone, like, there's a few of them clearly had to shave twice before they started filming, you know? Like, just, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, if the filming goes on past midday, we're going to have to go have a trim.
Yeah, exactly. It is mad. Like, it is, like, a few of them, they're, like, stood next to teachers, like, you clearly are the same age. And so, but, like, 80s films did that, and then a lot of 90s, and it just kind of carried on for a while before I think people went, this is fucking dumb. And because of that, that kind of takes away. Also, the third film's weird. I know what they tried to do.
Yeah, him doing that stupid dance. Yeah.
I know what they're trying to do, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Now, the Andrew Garfield films are good, but they didn't get to finish it. And why I think that is an impact is because they left it on him failing badly.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to make a third film to round that out, okay. But if you're stopping at that point, that's a bad place to end.
Yeah, because, like, even when he then reappears in...
He's a broken man.
He's broken man, and he talks about how I stopped pulling punches. And I'm like,
yeah,
I want to see that.
Spider-Man is so friggin' powerful. Like, if he stopped pulling punches, he's literally punching through bad guys' heads.
I want to see that, you know?
At some point, I stopped pulling my punches. What does that mean? Well, I'm just straight up murdering baddies now.
Yeah, like, what happens to Rhino at the end of that film?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, literally, the end of the next scene is Spider-Man dragging him out of that contraption, just murdering him in the street. people screaming, that child running away in tears, and him being like, bring it on, who's next?
Yeah, who's next? Let's go.
Who wants to commit a crime in my city? What up? Yeah.
But I mean, I still want to see that movie. I still think he needs a third movie. But
I do
I'm
get
going
what
to
you're
say
saying.
each of those get better as they go along.
I think, and this is something which is controversial in itself, I think the Tom Holland Spider-Man films are the best ones, not because it's modern, not because I think he suits the character or anything like that, but I think because Marvel are heavily involved. Like, Marvel Studios know these characters.
I get you, yeah.
And I think they nailed that, from casting to getting the tone right. And it's going to be interesting what they do with the next set of Spider-Man films, because, of course, they're, he's older, now it's the college years. What do they do? Where are they going to get the turn right? Now, the first trailer for it looks amazing.
Yes.
I'm, really excited to see it. So, yeah, I get what you're saying completely, and I think many people will agree, but I also think that could be one of those where it's like, no, Toby was my Spider-Man, F you, and that's going to be the end of it. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. We will be back next week as always. Every Friday there's a new episode of our show. Get in touch with us. You can email Sam at stuffandthangspodcast.com. You can contact us via the podcast apps or any other way you like. There's a contact form on the website, by the way, which is all the W's, stuffandthangspodcast.com. I will now leave you with Stefan and his final thought.
If the early bird gets the worm, why do good things come to those who wait?
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.